I just don't understand how some people still can't see that Finn was totally taken advantage of. Seriously, how can you deny that? The whole relationship had a massive power imbalance. Nephew and aunt, come on. That's not a gray area, it's a glaring red flag. Everyone, including the show itself, has made it clear that Finn was manipulated. The only person still pretending otherwise is Poppy, and let's be real, she's the one using every grooming tactic in the book during this whole thing. So, what's your excuse? How can you look at it and not see Finn as the victim here? And for the sake of curiosity, would you feel the same if this happened to a female character like Hope, Steffy, or Electra? I'm guessing not. Look, when I was 18, I knew who it was okay to sleep with and who it wasn't. You're not some naive kid at that age. You know the difference between right and wrong. Finn himself admitted that he consented, but does that somehow make it okay? Just because he's 18 doesn't mean he wasn't being manipulated. Sure, Poppy totally disrespected her sister, but Finn was very aware of what was happening. But apparently, some people are choosing to ignore all of that because Finn said it was consensual. Honestly, that's a cop-out. He knew what he was doing. And no, I don't buy the "I messed up" routine after he found out the lunatic was his daughter. He's just trying to cover his tracks now. No sympathy here. Meanwhile, Poppy. Yeah, she clearly knew exactly what she was doing. It wasn't just a mistake. She should have known it was wrong. Finn, too, should have realized this was messed up. She was his aunt, adoptive or not. And where were the parents in all of this? Just complete radio silence. Seems like a total oversight. Cousin Finn. Oh, the scriptwriters. They really know how to make me cringe. Since when have I ever called any of my cousins cousin name? Sure, I get the whole aunt and uncle thing, but cousin in front of a name? Never. It's just awkward. I mean, I get why they did it, to remind us that Luna doesn't know about the whole cousin thing. But seriously, is there not a less painful way to get that across? And don't even get me started on the virtual friend who's on the same page. This show is honestly one of the few where I end up talking to my TV in pure disbelief. But wait, it gets better. Did you notice how weird the hug was? As he's walking toward her, all stiff and robotic, I honestly didn't even realize he was going in for a hug. And then bam, he just stiffly embraces her like he's never touched a human being in his life. And let's not forget that camera angle, zooming in on his hand on her back. Oh my goodness. This show is something else. It's so bad that I can't look away. Maybe I'm just a sociopath, hoping against hope that somehow, someway, they'll get something right eventually. Oh, Daphne. Where do I even begin? I despise her. She's so incredibly affected. Like, who actually behaves like that? No real person would pull off all those weird little mannerisms. And don't get me started on her French. It's so gimmicky, like a bad tourist shop version of Paris. I can't stand it. Honestly, this entire plot is just a mess. They decided Hope was the villain when, surprise, she never was and still isn't. Now, since I only catch a minute here and there, I don't have a full picture of her, but when I do see her, it's just an eye-roll fest. Seriously, that kiss? Pathetic. And the whole seduction thing, Carter's a joke. Also, can we talk about why every character has to be foreign-born? I mean, come on, it's hard to fake an accent, and listening to a bad one is like nails on a chalkboard. Daphne's fake French accent is grating. It's like the second her mouth opens, you're already mentally marking her down. And what's with her hands always being shoved in her pockets? I swear, she stands like she's just over everything, slumped with her hips jutted out. Girl, could you please just stand up straight for once? Oh, the men on this show, don't even get me started. Does anyone else think it's absolutely hilarious how these guys are apparently incapable of speaking or having an opinion? They just stand around like deer in headlights, completely useless. Honestly, it's so irritating. Someone pointed out that nearly every male character in the history of this show is like this. which is probably why it never really took off like some of the other soaps. And now I can't unsee it. It's not that we all want some stereotypical alpha Chad, but we do want someone who listens, stands up for us, and maybe occasionally does something other than stare blankly at the wall. These men? Yeah, not doing any of that. As much as I absolutely despised what Thomas became, I can't say I'm shocked he ended up a fan favorite. He's the first guy since Nick left who could actually make a plan and follow through without needing his mommy to hold his hand. Shocking, I know. Do I find the men on this show strong? Absolutely not. But pathetic? Oh, you bet. Except for Finn, I guess. He's the only one who manages to break the mold of the cheating, misogynistic man. The rest, they cheat, treat women terribly, and then just get away with it. And if they're ever called out, it lasts, what, a day? Meanwhile, the women get slut-shamed into oblivion. This show really does nobody any favors. But honestly, I can't help but laugh at how ridiculous it all is. It's a soap opera after all. I'm just here for the chaos and to enjoy how wonderfully awful the writing can get at times. But let's be real. If they ever dared to introduce an actual strong-willed man, the fanbase would lose their minds. Just look at the meltdown over Ridge. Can you even imagine the drama if we had someone with an ounce of backbone? The chaos would be legendary. Ah, the preview has me so thrilled. Watching Hope fight for her man? Check. Steffy crying her eyes out while Finn defends Luna? Check. Finn finally telling Luna the truth? Oh, you bet that's happening. But here's the thing, Brooke. I used to be her biggest fan and Sheila's, don't judge, but seriously. The fact that she's still fighting for Ridge after he insulted Hope? Yeah, no. I'm starting to side-eye her big time. Honestly, I always secretly wanted Brooke to snag him just so Taylor wouldn't get her happy ending. But now, ugh, I'm over it. This week is definitely going to be one of those weeks. I can already feel the drama building, and I am here for it. What's really getting under my skin, though, is Steffy. She's out here acting like Finn is to blame for some dumb mistake he made years ago. And let's not even talk about that little promise she made about not leaving this time. We all know she'll be running back to Liam faster than she can say, I'm the wronged woman. Steffy always plays the victim. Every single person she meets somehow owes her their entire existence, just because, surprise, she's Steffy Forrester. Honestly, it's like I'm watching a bad soap opera that I can't turn off. I still like Brooke, but wow, I'm mad at her right now. If she were my friend, I'd be giving her a serious wake-up call. Honestly, I have no idea why the writers are humiliating both Brooke and Taylor like this. My guess, the writers are definitely male. Hope is the embodiment of nervous energy, like a jittery, giddy mess of I'm totally fine, I swear with absolutely no confidence to back it up. How in the world is this woman supposed to lead Forrester? Seriously, it's like watching someone try to run a marathon in roller skates. Lots of noise, no direction. She's got 100% bravado, but zero actual ability to back it up. Honestly, I don't know how much longer I can stomach watching this character. She's like Tweety Bird with a business card. It's honestly painful. And let's talk about Carter for a second. I think he's the real puzzle here. The guy brings Hope a deal, takes the lead on everything, and then they have a passionate makeout session in the office, because, you know, that's what all professional, grown-up relationships look like, right? Fast forward a bit, and suddenly he's acting like a limp noodle with Daphne, just totally flopping around, practically asking for sympathy from everyone. It's insane. Hope was practically an afterthought when it came to the paperwork. Now he's cheating on her, and it's like he's got some kind of switcheroo gene. This dude changes faster than I can blink. He must get it from his bestie Ridge. And don't even get me started on Carter's lack of spine. My brother-in-law had it right. You ride the fence too long, eventually it shreds your balls. Seriously, Carter's over here showing us the perfect example of indecision turning into total uselessness. Then Hope sees Carter and Daphne kissing, and instead of confronting them like any rational person would, she kind of just watches it happen. Then, in the preview for next week, she's telling Daphne to back off. Seriously, let Daphne have him, Hope. Move on, build yourself a better life, maybe even grow a little backbone while you're at it. At this point, she's just turning into a Minna Brooke, pining over sad, pathetic Ridge. It's a total UGH moment. This whole storyline, ridiculous. Ah, Samantha Kelly, what a character. Do you remember her? She was played by Sydney Penny back in 2004. A childhood friend of Ridge, and let's not forget, she tried her best to seduce him, though, spoiler alert, Brooke totally crushed her efforts. After that, she went on to become Caitlin's mom and the ex of Lorenzo Lamas. I mean, the character could have been interesting if handled better, but in all honesty, I think the casting was a bit off. Imagine if Lauren Fenmore had taken on the role instead. That would have been a much more fitting choice. As for the season I'm watching right now, oh, it's a hot mess. I mean, compared to today's utter train wreck, this season might as well be Shakespeare. But the 2003-04 era, yeah, it's definitely a season of B and B that exists, for better or worse. I have to give credit where it's due. Finn and Steffy's actors have absolutely killed it throughout this entire storyline. It's honestly impressive how convincingly they've played their roles. I buy every single scene they had. Finn's struggle with the truth, his internal conflict about telling his wife, and, let's be real, his mental exhaustion when dealing with Poppy. Seriously, his scenes with her just scream. I've mentally checked out, but you can still feel his frustration, especially when he's trying to make her understand why he has to be honest. It's a whole vibe. And then there's Steffy. Her performances have been incredible. From her casual, yet heartfelt moments with her dad, which sell the father-daughter bond, to her role as a supportive wife and friend in her scenes with Liam and Finn. But what really stands out is her breakdown when she learns the truth. JMW has done such a great job of subtly pulling away from Finn the more the truth sinks in, starting out so ready to embrace him but then, piece by piece, realizing she can't. It's brilliant. Honestly, I feel like I have to give these two actors their flowers for bringing so much to the table despite some pretty lackluster writing. It's not that the other actors are bad, they're good, some even better than others, but the writing really doesn't do them any favors. Still, the actors managed to deliver with everything they've got. Respect.